We are on, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Big Skinny. I am Matthew Eichbush and Jake Jones, and we've got an amazing show for you tonight. Not only do we have Flat Earth Dave, who's coming on, and he's gonna give the Flat Earth Dave Flat Earth explanation. But we also have two-time Guinness Book of World Record holder Kelly Gneiting, five-time U.S. Sumo Wrestling champion, coming on to just talk about the U.S. Sumo Nationals and talk to Flat Earth Dave about the Flat Earth. And Kelly is unsure about it, and that's okay. We all question.
Not okay. It's not okay anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, but we should question. It is okay to question. And the most amazing thing is when you find people that have the consequence in society that somebody like a Kelly Gneiting does, where they're open to having that conversation. And so I'm extremely appreciative to have Kelly Gneiting, and I'm extremely appreciative to have Flat Earth Dave on our show tonight. And Jake Jones and I made that all possible for you. So I'm going to ask you all to like and subscribe Intellectual Catch Up, because you know what? We're going to bring you some really badass content just like this moving forward. But with that, Jake, you want to kind of take over and sort of introduce Flat Earth Dave? And
well, here, what I want to say is that Matthew and I, this is our third podcast for the Big Skinny. And when Matthew said he wanted to have Kelly Gneiting on, I said, man, we've got to get Flat Earth Dave on to have Flat Earth Dave explain our model to him.
The best that the U.S. has to offer.
Hey, right. Let's play a video of him in a match. Which video did you
want? Let's play. Oh, Jim. Okay. So here, how about a video of the Sumo Slam heard around the world?
Yeah,
with Kelly Gneiting wrestling in the World Sumo Championships against rest in peace Biamba Ulumbiar.
Which video is it? Number one?
It would be the first one, number one.
First one, Josh. Can you play the first video so we can?
This guy is
these are real short clips.
A four-time world champion, by the way.
World champion.
And yes, he passed away too soon, but.
He is Mongolian, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
I couldn't believe you got up from this.
This was amazing. This is Kelly wrestling Biamba in the U.S. Sumo World Championships. Look at that. And the realm, once you land on your back, you are dead, correct, Kelly? Technically, it means death. It's a spiritual thing that means death. Right?
Yeah, sumo is a sport where it's kind of like the two armies, like David and Goliath, where traditionally, now there's not a lot of history on this, but it did happen many times, where instead of two armies going at it.
Look at that. It's two gods.
So what happens here?
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
If you go,
dude picked up a 400-pound man and slammed him on his back, and a 400-pound athlete. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead. What's your question?
I'm sorry.
My question was if you get pushed beyond the shoreline of Antarctica there, are you out?
Yes. Down and out. If you go down to your knees or feet or even the top of your feet, kind of brush the surface.
Or if you go to the forbidden land outside of the
outside
green ring.
is a bottomless pit all around that ring, and you die.
It looks like just a flat plane to me that goes on for some distance.
Well, David, in the Shinto religion, a sumo match is what created the earth realm that we live in.
Don't doubt it.
That's the Shinto religion, and yeah, no, it's fantastic. And I think, Jake, this is a really good opportunity to introduce Flat Earth Dave. We have got Flat Earth Dave and Kelly Gneiting on our show, and I'm so excited, and I love you both, and thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to shut up and let Jake tell us about Flat Earth Dave and get started. Kelly, I love you, brother. Flat Earth Dave is going to tell you why you don't live on a globe.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to point to some things that you never thought about and point to some things that you thought you knew that you don't know. So, and then you make up your own mind. I'm not going to tell you what to believe because belief is the enemy of knowing, and ego is the protector of belief. So, where do you want to go? Did you want just you and me now?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you this, David. I believe in Alex Jones. He's always right.
I just talked about him on my last show. I was asked the last question. I was asked what I think about Alex Jones, and he was screaming that they're making the frogs gay with I forget the name of the drug, the pesticide, and everyone laughed. And now the the chemical company admits it. He talked about everything he's talked about has come true. Now, the only problem that people have with Alex Jones is he doesn't talk about some things. And I believe, and I have some information that he gets a phone call, don't talk about this anymore, your whole operation goes away. And he makes the choice to kind of follow that fine line. So I'm with you. I support Alex Jones.
All right.
I'd rather have 5 Alex Joneses than no Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that woke me up.
Well, they say politics is the art of the possible. And that's what he's probably trying to do to stay on. But I mean, for me, I actually don't believe that. I believe that you compromise your morals or values or beliefs, and you may get the backing of a company or two, but you don't have the backing of God. That's what I feel.
I don't know if he has the backing of God, but he has uncovered a lot of stuff. So getting away from Alex Jones.
Are you going back to what was the camp in Northern California that he uncovered?
Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove. Right.
You going back to that? So what since Bohemian Grove has he done?
Oh, I listen to him. I don't listen to him every day, but every time I listen to him, I mean, lately Joel Skousen was on. I mean, this is somewhat recent, and Joel Skousen didn't think there'd be a war, and Joel Skousen is supposed to always be right. And Alex Jones sort of differed with him, and it turns out Alex Jones was right. The good book says, by their fruit ye shall know them. And people can ignore what he says, but everything he says, practically everything, is right, is true. And so I'm about as conspiracy theorist as you can get, and that's because now I'm not a Mormon, but those Gadianton robbers, those conspiracy theorists, it's all over in the scriptures in the Book of Mormon, and I know they exist, and so you don't have to preach very far before I'll believe. But the flat Earth thing is something else to me.
Here's the thing.
Let me show.
People that think flat Earth is stupid have the wrong idea of what flat Earth is, and they also don't know what they believe about the globe. Because when you actually look, there's zero proof of the globe, and there's tons of proof of flat Earth. There's endless proof. So, we're not a disk floating in space, right? So, when you think of flat Earth, you think of this. Whoops, you don't think of that. Well, that's the heliocentric model. You don't think of this, right? You think of this. This is what they want you to believe, that we're a disk floating in space. This is
right. CNN. That's what I thought.
No, see, we're not. See, this is you've been gaslit. You've been strawmanned, just giving false information. You'll Google flat Earth and it says, oh, flat earthers believe the Earth is rising at 9.8 meters per second to create gravity. No flat earther believes that. Stupid flat earthers tried to jump on a steam rocket to prove the curve of the Earth. That never happened. That's what the news media said happened, but that never happened. They everything that you think about flat Earth that's stupid is wrong information. No flat earther thinks that. Flat earthers don't believe that Australia exists. Of course Australia exists. Flat earthers, don't know that water spins in opposite directions on the other side of the Earth. That's not true. It doesn't. Okay? There's zero proof of the globe. So here, I'm going to ask you a couple quick questions. I do this to everybody. And I didn't know any of the answers when I was asked. How fast is the Earth spinning in your heliocentric model at the equator?
one revolution in 24 hours, right?
So how many miles per hour is that at the equator?
I don't know.
It's 1,000 miles per hour. That's faster than the speed of sound. So when you're watching the sunset, you believe you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, which is making the sun appear to set. Okay. We're orbiting the sun, the Earth at 66,600 miles an hour in an elliptical orbit, speeding up and slowing down while spinning. Okay. And then we're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now let's put that into perspective. This is the hypersonic sled track. It's going to go by at Mach 8.6. I encourage you to just Google this yourself on YouTube so you can hear it.
Wow.
Watch it again. This is Mach 8.6. You have to believe that we are traveling around the sun.
We don't have any sound, Josh.
No,
there
is no sound. You have sound on me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no sound, but you have to believe that we're orbiting the sun 10 times faster
Jesus
than that.
Christ.
And we're chasing the sun at 100 times faster than that. Okay.
And the stars never move.
Wait. And again, the program response in your head, if you've been programmed like the rest of us, is, well, on an airplane, I could drink a glass of water. And to be fair, if you want to just match the spin of the Earth on an airplane, you have to remove the outer shell of the airplane because there's no outer shell on the ball. And you have to double the speed of the airplane because it's only going 500 miles an hour. And you have to nosedive a mile every minute just to follow the curve of the Earth. Then let me know how your water's doing. Okay. But when we go out into nature, what do we see? This is what we see. We see lakes where their container is showing us that it's perfectly still. This is a lake. Its container is the land around it. Large bodies of water at rest need a container. They lay flat, level, horizontal, right? If you lowered some of the land next to the lake, well, the water would flow away. The container is the land. So where am I going with this? What's the container? Well, we're told that Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. It's a continent at the bottom, and it's the highest land on Earth. That's always interesting. I found that always interesting long before I was a flat earther. But in reality, there are no pictures of Antarctica from space. There's just cartoons. This is how the world is set up. We live in the Antarctic basin. Antarctica is all of the land that surrounds our world pond. It contains our water.
Oh,
it
wow.
doesn't move. And it's when you get to Antarctica, you talk about the ice wall, it's the ice cliff, it's the shoreline. The plateau is 200 feet above the water. It is the container for our world. The world is 70% water. Large bodies of water at rest lay flat, testably, measurably, scientifically, provably flat. Now, Bill Nye taught us when boats go over the horizon, they disappear. So if my fingernail was a boat and I just sail away, I disappear over the horizon. You can zoom in, still can't see my fingernail, can't see it, right? Because there's a physical horizon right here. So I hide behind the horizon. So a physical ball, the Earth, the globe, is required to have a physical horizon at a said distance based on your height. A 6 foot tall person using their math should see a physical horizon on the flat water just 3 miles away. They shouldn't be able to see the surface of the water beyond 3 miles. The problem is we can see things much, much, much farther than that. Okay. We can see things that, we can zoom in on platforms like this one. Hold on. This camera is a foot off the ground. This platform is 9.4 miles away. At 9.4 miles, there should be 59 feet of curvature. But not only can we see the bottom of the platform, there is some distortion, which is atmospheric. We can see the surface of the water for dozens of miles beyond it, where there should be hundreds of feet of curvature. We can see too far. On a flat Earth, the horizon is not physical like I just showed you on the ball. It is optical. So let's see. Where over there? There it is. So when we look out in the distance, the sky will meet the ground, and that's the limit of your vision. You with me? Right?
Yeah. So a 6 foot tall person After a couple of miles,
After 3 miles, there's 6 feet of drop, so you should no longer.
So you should no longer see them.
Right, you should no longer. No. Well, no, they're not going to disappear immediately. You just can't see the surface of the water because it's going to exponentially drop off farther and farther as it goes away. So here's the thing. That's a physical horizon. So if I zoomed in, as I showed you on the ball, it doesn't help. Like if I zoomed in with a zoom lens, it doesn't help you because it's behind a physical thing. On a flat Earth, if you ever go out on a cumulus cloud day, they're all sitting there on the deck, all the clouds. And the ones over your head are 10,000 feet, whatever they are. And then 20, 30 miles away, they're literally touching the horizon. But you know that that's just perspective, right? You know that these streetlights are all the same height, right?
Yeah.
But they look like they're going down. Well, this is the sun or the moon. This is the sun. And it's going down. And then a funny thing happens when it gets down here. Sun's celestial. We have our atmospheric deck of opacity that literally comes together and becomes opaque, and things go beyond it. So here's a empty horizon. Now I'm zooming in. So essentially, I'm taking this horizon and I'm zooming in, and I'm making the horizon. I'm making the optics bigger. And as I zoom in, it reveals there's an actual boat there, right? Because I'm increasing the angular size. Now I'm gonna zoom out. It's like the boat is going away, and it looks like it's disappearing from the bottom up over the horizon. Why is it disappearing from the bottom up? First, its angular size is too small, right? But the little waves that are closer to you are bigger. Just like you could hold your finger out and block out an
David, can I interrupt? David, let me interrupt you really quick.
Go.
Let me ask you a question. That video you just showed with the boat.
Yeah.
Who took it and how was it taken?
So this was taken with a P900 super zoom camera. I don't know the exact specs on that, but I have 100 other videos, and I've taken some of them. And here's the thing. When I first learned about flat Earth, I was like, at first I went in with a negative attitude. I'm like, I'm going to disprove this flat Earth thing. I'm going to prove the globe and shut these retards up. And then I started seeing all this stuff, and I was like, wow. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to just believe a video. I'm going to go do it myself. I bought a $1,000 camera and tripod set up. And I went down to the beach, and I zoomed in on a buoy that was 11 miles away. And there should have been over 60 feet of curvature there. And I could see this buoy that's only 10 feet tall. And I'm like, that's not refraction. You guys have no audio. Someone's saying we have no audio.
Well, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the live cast. So
yeah.
I've been trying to get Matthew to answer his phone since it started, and he's not paying attention to the chat.
No, sorry, I was listening to Dave. I was just totally enamored by Dave.
I don't know what's going on. And
we're told it should be up now.
Yeah, cool. we should be up now. When did it go away? How long has it been away?
It's all right. I recorded the whole thing on my end, so we'll just keep going.
Okay, keep going.
All right.
We got to record it too, so yeah, keep going.
All right, so where were we? I'm lost.
Well, it is intriguing.
I had asked who took those videos.
Oh,
how they took them.
Yeah, so P900 and P1000, and I went out and bought a setup myself. Anybody can do this. This is the thing. Don't believe a video I'm showing you. Don't believe anything I'm showing you. I'm just pointing out to some things. Then you're like, wait a minute. You know, how come I could look across Long Island Sound? I could see people sitting on the beach when I'm sitting at the edge of the water. 7 miles away, there should be, I forget the number, but it's a dozen or 2 dozen feet of curvature. And I can see people playing in the water. I can see them sitting on the edge of the beach. I'm like, that's impossible, right? Using their math, right? Using their math. This is a famous viewing spot in Aluja, France, and from this altitude, the out here is Mount Candigo. It's 175 miles away. Well, based on globe math from their altitude and that distance, the top of Mount Candigo should be a mile below the ball. If we live on a ball 24,901 miles around, it should be a mile. Well, when you're seeing something, you're seeing light that's bouncing off of it. If I turned off all the lights in this room, you wouldn't see me because there'd be no light bouncing off of me. Well, the light that's bouncing off of Mount Candigo is not strong enough to push through 175 miles because it becomes thick. Like in a large swimming pool, you can't see the far end of the pool. You with me, Kelly?
Yeah, I am.
Pay attention here. This is important.
I am.
And so twice a year, the sun, when it's migrating in between the tropics, lines up with Mount Canigou, and the sun's light is strong enough to push 175 miles, and it backlights Mount Canigou. And you can see here, this is the top of Mount Canigou. It should be a mile below the curvature, but it's there. You just can't see it because
if all that is true, then you're absolutely right.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for being smart enough to see that. And also thank you for being smart enough not to believe just some videos I'm showing you. You can see all of this. Let me show you where you can. Here's the other thing. You Google flat Earth, Mount Canigou, flat Earth, circumnavigation, anything with the word flat Earth in it, you get propaganda nonsense videos from the government. You get Sideman Dan, you get Professor Dave. These are paid trolls to put out stuff to tell you, oh, flat earthers believe this nonsense and that nonsense, right? So I created this app which will show you how everything works. And every day there's a new video here, archive videos here, frequently asked questions. Like if I hit the frequently asked questions button, up comes all the questions you're going to ask. Why would they lie? What about eclipses? What about ships over the horizon, right? If I click the ships over the horizon, this is the one that got me. These are great videos, but the fifth video down, Mirror Line Horizon, Empty Thea Princess. This girl breaks it down. Kelly, you watch that 10-minute video, you're a flat earther, okay? Guarantee you'll be like, that's why ships go over the horizon, right? And here's the thing. You're a biblical guy. Are you a Bible follower? The Bible is a flat earth book from page 1. God separated the waters from the waters and created the firmament. The earth does not move. It never moves, right? And only twice in the Bible, I think it says the circle of the earth. Well, a pizza's a circle. My table's a circle. The limit of our vision creates a circle. You see 50 miles, 100 miles, 10 miles, whatever it is, the same distance in all direction. Well, that draws a circle around you. That's the circle of your vision. And then your programming will tell you that it's a globe, right? So this app will show you, will answer all of your questions, tons of information, moon landings. Look, our interviews right here under Dave's interviews. There it is, right there. Bam, there we are. So I recommend, like, if you watch more of my videos, I go through so much stuff. Let me. You have a question, or you want me to show you something else that'll blow your mind?
No, go ahead.
So if we're on
our minds, man,
if you're on a globe, and the top half is the northern hemisphere, bottom half is southern hemisphere, you got the equator. If you wanted to fly an airplane from any northern location to any other northern location, to any other, as many combinations as you want to make, would that plane ever have to fly below the equator?
No, because it's north of the equator.
Correct. And guess what? They never do. They never go below the equator, which is interesting. However, in the southern hemisphere, if you wanted to go from a southern location to another southern location, any combination, would you ever have to climb up into the northern hemisphere and then come back down? Same answer, right?
Yeah.
But they do. Now, why is that? Okay. Here's a flight from Santiago to Johannesburg, and it goes all the way up to Senegal. That crosses the equator and then down again. Well, on a flat Earth, this is what that flight route looks like.
Oh, wow.
That makes more sense. Let's look at another one. Check out this one, right? Montevideo to Perth.
Yeah.
Why does it go all the way up here when it could have just shot across? Right? Well, look, bam, bam, bam. Right?
Yep.
Fascinating. Right?
Yep.
Another one. Right? This is a straight line.
Yeah.
And why didn't it just cross over here? Because the people here wanted to go here. They didn't have to go pick up other passengers like Globers will say. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and here's something else happens. Do you believe we went to the moon? Have you ever looked into it?
No, I don't believe we went to the moon.
All right, good man. And that's just a belief. Look into it, then you'll know we didn't go to the moon. Okay.
Yeah.
So NASA's in charge of all international flight routes. NASA's in charge of GPS. NASA's in charge of radar. Interesting. Okay. what, and NASA's not a real, once you understand what they are, they're just a deception company. But occasionally on an airplane, somebody will have a medical issue, having a baby, having a heart attack, whatever it is, and the plane has to land as soon as possible, right? So we call these emergency landings. Well, on this trip from New York to Hawaii, for some reason, they went all the way up to Seattle, which is like 1,000 miles out of the way. Okay. Why did they had an emergency here? But if you look at it on a flat Earth, New York, Seattle's right on that line.
They should be stopping at Phoenix, it looks like.
Well, on the other one, on this, they should, but this is where they stopped. Right. Okay. Here's another one, right? Another one, they went all the way up to Moscow, again, hundreds and hundreds, 1,000 miles out of the way. Which makes no sense. That the timing of this, if you go look at the details of when it happened, how did they get to Moscow so fast? Well, look, Moscow's right on that line, right? Wow.
Yeah.
And the thing you have to ask yourself is, how many times does this have to happen before you realize it? Again, here they went to Calgary, way the fuck out of the way, right? And here we are, straight line, Calgary. Right now, I'm just showing you a bunch of memes, a bunch of graphics, and and you said it before, and that's probably the best thing I've ever heard anyone say is if what you're telling me is right, then you're right. The Earth is flat. Okay, and so believing that this is like, hey, I'm trustworthy. I'm showing you some good stuff. How do you verify all this? How do you verify it? And this is how you verify it. Eddie from Flat Earth Banjo, USA and Japan channel, wrote this book, 16 Emergency Landings. He documented all of the data, all of the flight paths, all of the numbers, all of the timing, all of the locations, everything. Okay. And it's free online. It's a free PDF online, or it's available on lulu.com for a coffee table book. I highly recommend it because all of this digital stuff is going away. We need to have books. If anybody wants a good coffee table book, this book is amazing. Okay. Lulu.com. And by the way, Lulu's having, if you check Eddie's channel, they're having a 15% off sale. Just a little plug there until the 30th. So, 16 emergency landings. Those alone prove we're on a flat Earth.
Yeah, this is but can I ask you some questions?
Yes, please. Sorry. I can talk forever.
No, you're good. It's just that for a brand new person, one question is, they have all those videos, it looks like, from outer space that make it look round. The other one is, what does it actually look like from outer space then, if it doesn't look like what we've been told?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because NASA doesn't have any images, right? They show us crap like this. Do you think that's real? Of course that's not real, right? Yeah, it can't be. And NASA has never been to space, right? Right. So that's just a spinning ball. Hold on. I'm looking for Earth from space. So here's another one that they tell us. I mean, do you believe this is a painting? Okay. This is a painting, right? And, the one that was on everyone's iPhone when it came out, the blue marble, which is this guy right here, right? Yeah. They photoshopped the clouds. The clouds are this, like, if you zoom in on this area, the clouds are repeated. They're stepped and repeated in Photoshop. Okay.
Wow.
Let me show you let me find that photoshopping Blue Earth. Where I gotta put that one closer. Well, when I come, here it is, marble clouds. 1 second. There we go. So you look in, you zoom in, the same cloud, stepped and repeated. But you don't even need this, because the guy that made it, that worked for NASA, a NASA visual artist, said he made it in Photoshop, and he told everyone in an interview how he made it, right? And he said that he just gets data from NASA, and then he creates what he thinks people want to see, right? NASA doesn't have any photos of Earth. So people say, well, NASA didn't have Photoshop. Do you need Photoshop to paint this, right? Do you need Photoshop to paint that? And the answer is absolutely not, because if you look at this right here, is this a painting or is this a photograph? Could be a trick question. What do you think?
It looks like a photograph.
Yeah, it's a painting. Okay. It's an actual painting. Somebody was able to paint this with the wine, the reflection, and the window, and the shading, and the glass. This is an actual, it's called a photorealistic painting, right? So what would be harder to paint? That or this?
The other one.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we get from NASA, right? But the problem is, what about the other space agencies? Wouldn't they tell on us? Wouldn't they, tell? Well, no, they all take their own pictures, and this is what we get. This is what we get. Look at this. This is cartoons. And people just gobble it up because we are programmed with space before we can talk. It's the first thing we learn in school. We're doing worksheets on the orbits of the planets and the sun and the moons. And it was one of the most important. I remember that when I was a kid, when I had that done, I was so proud that I knew that the moon went around the earth and the earth went around the sun. I was so smart. I was amazing, right? But all of this is programming us to build our entire life around this foundation. And in a moment, you're going to say, why the lie? We're going to get it. We'll finish up with that when the time comes. But once you understand that all of this is fake, it's life-changing. It's life-changing. You know, the Sumo ring looks like a Earth with Antarctica. If you step on Antarctica, which is off limits because of the Antarctic Treaty, right? Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the Antarctic Treaty. You know, I think that's what they're showing there. You know, the outside of that ring is Antarctica, and you're not allowed to go there.
So if you step on Antarctica and you keep going, then what'll happen?
Well, that's a great question. And here's the thing: anything above 73 miles, which is I think as high as anyone has ever gotten, or beyond 60 degrees, beyond 60 degrees south, right, where no one's allowed to go beyond, it is speculation, but what could be out there? So are you a believer in extraterrestrials, perhaps? Maybe?
Yeah.
Sure, it's a big place. It'd be a waste just to have, us.
Yeah.
The distance of those stars is so ridiculous that I'm tired of going over it, but I will again. The closest star is 25 trillion miles away, 4.5 light years, 25 trillion miles.
Right.
You know how long 1 trillion seconds is? 1 trillion seconds. If you're traveling a mile per second, which is faster than anyone's ever gone, in 1 trillion seconds, you've gone 1 trillion miles. How long did that take?
Many, many years or
31,000 years.
Yeah.
Just let that sink in. 31,000 years at a mile per second, and you are 1/25th of the way to the closest star, where the next closest star is magnitudes farther. And we're supposed to believe that aliens that look like us are flying in those distances and coming here and crossing in Roswell, when perhaps maybe the Earth is set up like this. Here we are in our pond. Here's Antarctica that surrounds us. And out here is extra territory. Think of the words. Extra, more land, more territory, extra territory. If somebody lived out here and flew in here, what would I call them?
I'm getting chills, David. I can see what you mean.
An extraterrestrial from where? From outer space. Outer space. The
from
inner
outside
space,
Antarctica.
But the extraterrestrial from outer space.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is the outer space.
Right. And there was this map. Let me see. Where's this? Where's my other map? There's a Japanese map that was discovered 10 centuries old, and here it is. That showed all of these other continents on it. What's up with that?
Wow.
This is an old map.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's books written by explorers from the late 1800s, early 1900s, talking about extra land beyond Antarctica. Whether the book is made up or not, which I don't think it is one called The Iron Republic. They're talking about more land beyond Antarctica back then. And here's the thing. We're told that a bunch of guys, throughout history have that they, Copernicus and Kepler and Aristophanes all made up stories. None of this is true. Aristophanes, who figured out the shape of the earth by sticks and shadows, which, by the way, doesn't work. He was never mentioned into any books, that experiment, until the mid 1900s. I interviewed a 102-year-old woman in February 2020 about the World's Fairs, and her memory was so good. I was talking to her, and I asked her what they taught her in elementary school about the Earth, and she said they taught me that the Earth was flat. Here in public schools in America, not a religious school, in regular public school, that she was taught that the Earth was flat. And I recently met somebody in Mexico that said in the early 1960s they were teaching flat Earth and globe Earth in school here in America.
Wow.
Yeah. And good.
No, I think I know why. I mean, I just there's so many lies. It's like the bigger the lies you can get people to believe, then the more prone they are to accept falsehoods in general.
Listen, you're telling me we're gonna try. I'll be the Glober because you got it. You're there already. They're hiding the creator. If you hide the creation, you hide the creator. In the Bible, I forget the verse,
Very
but basically
well said in a nutshell.
But the verse says, once you see my creation, you can no longer deny my existence. Well, what are the evil Satanists doing that are running this world? They are hiding the creator. They hate the creator. They don't want you finding the creator, because if you do, you're going to disregard everything that they say, everything that they do. They need us to be atheists. They need us to doubt the creation. They need us to be living in fear, right? Think about fear. You're spinning out of control in an infinite universe where an asteroid could take you out, a supernova could take you out. We're running out of food. We're running out of water. Nuclear bombs are going to blow us up. All of that is fake. You know that nuclear bombs don't exist. Side note. Okay.
Oh
Yeah. The dual slit experiment shows that.
No. Nuclear bombs don't exist. You don't even need the dual experiment, right?
Because we can't identify particles.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to go that far. Hiroshima. So after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the trains were running, the sandwich shops were open, they were selling flowers on the street, and everyone was back to work 3 days later. Okay, you didn't hear about that. You know why you didn't
work with radiation.
Yeah, you know why you didn't hear about that? Because only one reporter was allowed to take pictures and write articles, and anyone else that did was put in jail. Okay, it was all made up, and there's video of them stacking TNT at Ground Zero before the blast. Okay, it was a giant explosion. All of it's nonsense. And for anyone that's hearing this for the first time, Crow 777 Radio on YouTube, episode 053. Just listen to that. And then you will never, anytime you hear any world leader mention nuclear threats, you can laugh instead of being fearful. They want us living in fear. So let me finish the why. Okay. They want us living in fear, feeling insignificant in a godless or distant God universe where our lives are out of control, because that spins our psyche and we can never really make a grounded decision. The other way to see the world the way it is, we are at the center of creation. The center of creation. It's amazing. There is infinite abundance. There isn't overpopulation. I don't believe the bullshit numbers they're telling us of the 7.8 billion people. It's not true. But even if the number of people in the United States is true, every family could have a half an acre in Texas. Okay. Yeah. And there'd still be room in Texas. Okay. So again, they're lying to us about every single thing. So they're hiding free energy. They're hiding the fact that our thoughts create our reality, right? Your thoughts create your reality. Everybody here, they don't want us to know the power of our thoughts. So how do when you have two people together, it's synergistic energy, and I'm trying to think of the word. It's not synergistic toxicity, but synergistic energy. Whatever, where one person has 1 unit of power, another person has 1 unit of power. You put them together, it's 10 units of power, right? You put more people together, and it's just like, it's the Maharaji effect of meditating. You've seen that, where everyone world meditates together, and then peace breaks out or something. Okay, so they're dividing us. They divide us by countries. There used to be a worldwide, highly advanced civilization here. Ready for this? In the 1800s. Okay. And there's evidence every time you go outside, you're walking right by it and you're not seeing it. Okay. It's everywhere. So I created a tool because they're hiding everything. You Google flat Earth, you end up with all the nonsense, right? You end up with nonsense. Here's the app. Here are the videos. Here's that stuff. The frequently asked questions. But if you hit the web button on the right here, mud floods, Tataria, click that button. Make sure you got a couple days and plenty of food and water because you're not going to be moving. There's such good videos there. Again, on the books tab, there's the book, 16 Emergency Landings. Whoops.
This is an app, right?
This is an app. It's called.
What do you search for to get it?
It's called the Flat Earth. You can just point your phone right here and you point your camera at it and it'll come right up. But the name of the app.
I'll do it right now.
The name of the app is the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app right there. Point at it, either one of those. I'll do it. No, wait, hold on. The app's $3. There's a subscription. You don't need to subscribe unless you want to message other people. So don't feel like people are like, I don't like subscriptions. You know what? I don't like subscriptions either. But it is actually a good subscription when you want to meet other people. So people are using it as a dating app at this point, and a job
subscribe and support the cause.
Yeah. So
Flat Earth. I'm doing a search right now. Flat Earth,
Sun, Moon,
and Zodiac.
Are you in Android or Apple?
Apple. It's
$3. It's the first one to come up. Look. This is a world map. Check this out. These are the people that have the app and have the friend finder. Okay. Look at this. We're everywhere. This isn't a fringe little group of a bunch of retards. We are highly educated, awake, aware people. And in the app, if you tap on one of these dots, you can actually contact the person. You can message them. You can send group messages. Like I have 50 kilometers set. So I have 322 people. I can send a group message. Hey, I'm having a meetup April 2nd in New York City. And everybody meets. Right. So this is how we use their technology to bring us together. All right. Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to have to research it and not take your word for it. But all you got to do is prove that one truth where if you're 6 feet tall, how far do you need to walk before you're no longer visible?
Well, it's more than 3 miles, but if you're looking out
it's like 6 miles or something, right?
It's 8 inches per mile square.
Yes,
the curvature, the mathematical translation. What they've told us that the globe is 24,000 miles around at the equator, and that means there should be basically curvature visible at 8 inches per mile square, which is not visible anywhere.
Yeah, all you got to do is.
And Kelly, when I was 6 or 7 years old, I questioned that. And I asked the question to that I'd met, who was talking about the globe, and I said, "Well, why can't we see it curve?" I said that as a child, because it's a very basic
because it's too big, because the world is too big.
But they're lying. But they're lying because you should be able to see it within the parameters of the function of your lower sensory perception of sight. You should be able to see it, and we easily have technology that can allow you to telescope in. I mean, they're telling us that they have a telescope floating around in outer space, taking pictures from deep space is what they call it, but we can't see more than like a mile or so and see the curvature across the ocean. It's garbage.
They tell us that
it's a lie.
Space is too big.
I'm gonna shut up because Dave, I can't add much.
This is the Hubble telescope from like 20 years ago. They showed us this picture. Okay, I say it's a garbage can. To me, this looks like Del Monte beans wrapped in tinfoil and a Coke can with a little flip and some balsa wood airplane wing wheels. Okay, but so check this out. Just recently, they did a servicing mission on it. Right, so they went to the Hubble. And they serviced it and they snapped a picture. Look, it's the same picture. And if you compare them side by side, it's the same clouds. They use the same picture. Okay.
Well, also just looking at that, they look like about the same size, but there's more curvature in that picture than the other one.
Oh, that's interesting too.
Photoshop, different artists.
Oh yeah, they got them. Well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, maybe. But think about this. On Earth, when they're doing those deep star field telescopes, the telescope is on a giant cement pad that's like 10 feet thick or whatever. I don't know how deep it is, but it has to be so the operator, when they're doing a long-term photograph of deep space, they don't even want the operator walking around in sneakers because the vibration could ruin the picture, could vibrate the mirror, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so I was watching a Nova, and I remember that because they're like, the guy has to walk around in socks and walk around carefully. Okay. But then I'm like, but isn't the Earth spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour and chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour? How the fuck is a little vibration going to make any difference at all? And if the Hubble telescope, not only is it doing all of those motions that the Earth is doing, somehow magically mimicking it, it's also falling around the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour additional. Okay. How the hell is that thing taking pictures of anything? Right.
Wow. Yeah.
None of it makes any sense whatsoever. No. Right. I mean, if you look at the nonsense that they tell us, right, a space vacuum next to a high pressure gaseous planet. Well, how do you have a vacuum next to a gaseous planet? Do you know what this is? You saw this as a kid.
Oh yeah,
this is the nebula, whatever. This is where stars are born. Yeah. Okay, This is so big that the dust in there. Wait, and by the way, this is made of dust and gas in space. Dust and the gas free floating in a space vacuum.
Yeah, why is the gravity pulling it together?
Well, why is there dust and gas in space in the first place? Wait, and
there's not.
Yeah, right. Think about this. So they say that the dust starts going together. Oh, I got a baseball size. Now it's got some gravity. It pulls in more dust and it turns into a star. What does it do? Spit the star out like a friggin' ping pong ball machine, and then it flies across the galaxy and takes its place? I mean, the stuff that they show us, they're laughing, right? Kids know what this is because they're all brainwashed with this. Adults know what this is. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Absolute insanity. Right, this is probably some satanic friggin' monster casting a spell. Who the hell knows? You know, they do all sorts of weird. Oh yeah,
stuff. there's satanic stuff in all kinds of stuff like that.
Kelly, would you get on this thing?
Yeah,
you'd get on this. Look at this thing. It's made of friggin' paper mache and tin foil and curtain rods. Right. Another thing that's the lunar lander. That we didn't go to the moon. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I wasn't showing you. I didn't realize I didn't share my screen. This right here. This.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that looks pretty bad.
Pretty bad?
Real bad.
Oh, thank you. Can't get any worse. You got the extraterrestrial thing. Let me show you one more thing. So the sun goes around and it migrates in between this outer yellow line, which is December 21st, the Tropic of Capricorn, and the inner yellow line, the June 21st, the Tropic of Cancer. So when it comes to June, where are you located, Kelly?
I'm in New Mexico, so Gallup, New Mexico.
All right. So in June, the sun will be all the way here, and it goes right over. When it comes around, you'll see that it goes kind of almost right over New Mexico. Pretty damn hot there in June, I bet.
Yeah.
Right. And that's because the sun is directly over you and it's close. Right. And now, like that street light that's over your head, that's your summer sun. The street light that's down the road a block or two, it's the same height, but it's lower in the sky. It's farther away. That's your winter sun. So it's summer in Miami. It's summer in New Mexico. It's winter in Australia. 6 months later, the sun migrates all the way out, spirals all the way out. It's summer in Australia because the sun goes right over Australia. It's winter where I am in Connecticut, and it's freezing because the sun is far away.
Yes.
Right? So real quick, if you're inside of this inner circle, you're in the Arctic area. And if you're outside the bigger circle, you're in the Antarctic area. Okay? And anything in between the tropics is the tropics because that's where it's warm and the islands are and it's beautiful. Okay? So the tropics are in between the tropics. The Antarctic area is outside, and the Arctic is inside. So if you're standing anywhere inside the circle, what is the sun doing? It's arcing around you.
Right.
If you're standing anywhere outside this circle, what's the sun doing? It's coming towards you and away from you. It's Antarctic. Yes. The Antarctic. The Arctic. Arcing. Antarcting.
Wow.
Airplanes fly flat and level over the Earth plane. Go.
Wow. So what's the origination of the word Antarctic? Where did it come from?
Everybody knew that the Earth was a level stationary plane all the way up to the well after the World War II, well after. And they started just changing it. And the Rockefellers took over the indoctrination camps, and they literally took a flat Earth out of the curriculum. It was still in the curriculum. The 1959 Encyclopedia Americana talks about the dome at 13,000 feet at 85 degrees south, but you can't even find that encyclopedia anymore, right? They literally took everything away, and they want you to feel insignificant. They want you to not know that you're at the center of creation. They want you to believe they have control over you. The only person that has control over you is nobody. The only control anyone has over you is in your imagination. And they know, here's the thing, and this is how we win, right? God's on our side. They know they can't break karma. They can't break our free will. I don't believe that they can kill us. They're not allowed to, and they're afraid of that, but they can convince us to kill each other. They can get order followers to go to other wars and kill other order followers, and no one knows what the hell is going on, right? The division between the United States and Russia is fake. This war is fake. It's all a stage show. It's Wag the Dog. Anyone that hasn't seen that in the last 10 years, watch that movie, Wag the Dog. It's a documentary of what's going on right now.
Dave, one of the things that really got me, I just wanted to interject something, Kelly.
Yeah, please.
One of the major things that really got me about and made me pay attention was the fact that we're supposed to be swirling around the sun and, spiraling and chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour and all these different movements. And the northern star always is in the same exact spot. And there's sundials that are 6,000 years old, carved into stone, where you can literally count by the seconds. And it's always the same. David, I just wanted to bring that up because
here's Stonehenge is by any chance in Georgia? Stonehenge. Yeah. Well, the center stone has this little hole in it. So forgetting the 10 Commandments on there with the whole New World Order.
The New World Order 10 Commandments, right?
You look through this hole, and there's Polaris. It never moves. It's been up for over 40 years, and Polaris hasn't moved. Even in the heliocentric, nonsensical model, they tell us that in 4,000 years, we're going to have another North Star. It's going to be Thuban, or it was Thuban, or whatever it is. And that means that this should have moved a half a degree or so since this was built, right?
Yeah.
And it would be way out of this hole. It's still there. It hasn't moved. Same thing with the pyramids in Egypt. However, whenever they were built, they're still lining up with the same stars. That's absolute insanity to believe that can happen in a corkscrewing, beehiving universe. Here's a monument. These are holes going through these consecutive pillars, and every year at 11:11 at 11:11 a.m. the sun lines up and lights up this little emblem on the ground. It's a war memorial thing. Well, how the heck does that happen in a gravitationally run heliocentric beehive? Okay, how does that happen?
Right.
This is impossible. The stars are fixed in the sky, just as it says in the Bible, and they rotate around us. Go out tonight, look at the stars, draw a little pattern, say, okay, I'm sitting here in the corner of my house, and I see these stars here at 11 o'clock p.m. Then next year, same night, same time, go out, and every star will be in the exact same position. Okay? Game over. Yes, we're not moving. The stars are fixed. The wandering stars, which they now call planets, right? That's a whole nother thing. When you look, Disney and NASA show us this, rocky planet. When we look through our super zoom cameras, this is what we say. Okay.
Right.
How does that dusty, dirty ball shine back to Earth and be brighter than most stars in the sky when you see it? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah.
The inverse square law of light proves that that's just not the case.
Wow.
Right. This is just the beginning. Here's the thing. Thanks for downloading the app. And you didn't do it for me. You did it for you, because that app is just, all I say is every day you get a little notification, say, hey, there's a new video today. I try to do short ones during the week, longer ones on the weekend. Just like you're having your breakfast, when you're just chilling, taking a rest, watch that one video a day. And what will happen is you'll go, let me see another video. You hit the archive button, and then you'll be stuck there all day. And then you'll send me an email like, Dave, you friggin' bastard. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. Well, the good news is that's how it used to be. Now you tell your friends that the earth is flat, they go, yeah, I heard something about that. What do you got? And then you share it with them, and now you have new flat earth friends.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I came into this discussion thinking, look, gravity in space has to pull to each other and form a sphere. It just
that's what they tell you. So
right, but then you see asteroids; they're not spherical.
But the other thing is that, well, they're not big enough. There are no such thing as asteroids. Okay, all of it is nonsense. So think about this. This is called the 3-body problem, right? You can take the world's best supercomputer. You can put a mass in it. We'll call it a sun, and it's got this amount of gravity. Got another thing orbiting it. We'll call it a planet. It's got this amount of gravity, and that computer can figure out where it's going to be every second of every day for the next million years. Okay, but then you introduce one more object, a planet or a moon, into that system. That computer can only figure out what's going to happen in the next few seconds, and then it goes into chaos mode. It can only predict what it's going to do just a few seconds into the future, and then it goes into chaos mode. Now think about this. We got all of our planets and suns and moons, right? You got the sun way over here, and then you got these planets way out here. So the sun can hold on to the Earth and Pluto and every planet in between, but it ignores all the moons. Okay? Yeah. What happens when this moon comes around the Earth back towards the sun? Shouldn't it speed up towards the sun? And when it goes back away, shouldn't it slow down because of the sun?
Yes, it should, yes.
It doesn't. It doesn't. When all these planets line up, how come they don't tug on each other? How come things don't move? How come they know when these planets are going to line? How come it works like a perfect clock? Like a heavenly created clock?
Because they tell you all the planets are on the same plane too.
They say they're on the same plane because that's the only way it works. Why are all the biggest telescopes in the outer south?
Yeah,
and they're all looking out.
How could that be?
Right.
Anyway,
right.
But
yeah.
Well, the result of all of this,
is
I can't help but to say it makes me angry to be lied to at this level.
Dude, they're hiding the creator. They're hiding your divinity. They're hiding more land. They're
it just
hiding
makes you
everything.
Wonder what is true at all.
Nothing they tell us is true. But once you, this is the key. This is the moment. Once you wake up to this, you start seeing all of these other things. And then once you see that, you literally unplug from the Matrix. Neo in the Matrix. The Matrix is the heliocentric system. At the beginning, Neo's lost in the Matrix. He's lost in the heliocentric system, and he's depressed and he's powerless. And at the end, he is unplugged from the heliocentric system, and he's taken back his power. And that's what happens when you understand you're at the center of creation, right? You understand the true power that you have, the divinity that you have. We're here to expand the mind of the creator. We have our soul, which I say is a piece of the creator. We're all part of the creation. Everything that we see in the sky is alive, right? The earth is alive, and we're part of that living system. It's all part of the creation.
Man, this is amazing. It really is. And I can relate to being looked at as crazy, because I mean, one thing I do is I do read the scriptures, and it's the Bible. I finished Matthew and Mark in the last couple of days. I'll keep going. You mentioned Lulu.com. I have religious books on Lulu, on Isaiah and the book of Revelation. And what you're doing, what goes through my mind in what you're doing is you try to bring up the simplest biblical truth. And you won't go too far before the majority of people don't believe you. I mean, you just start talking to a few people.
Right.
Go ahead.
So in the app, you hit the web button, and you're going to love this right here, Biblical Flat Earth, right? And I tell people this, whether you're a Bible believer or a Bible denier, you need to watch all of these videos because they're life-changing. But right here, the top one, it's called Dear Pastor. It's 8 minutes and 30 seconds by Matt Long, the Flat Earth podcast co-host. And It's basically a little pitch to pastors or anybody that goes to church, and it basically lays it out. And he's trying to get other pastors on board, because all of these pastors in the church that are ignoring scripture, they're going, oh, that's all a metaphor. How many metaphors can there be? Okay, all of these videos, just start watching these videos. You'll be blown away. You will watch every video on this one. This is another good one. Don't watch this video. Another one by Matt. Amazing, right? You start watching these, you're never going to be bored ever. No flat earther is bored for a split second after they become a flat earther, because there's this creation is so amazing. You don't need the tell lie vision programming entertainment, right, to control and freeze the mind, right? It's all nonsense. The world is such an amazing place. You don't need any of that, and you're never bored again, because there's so much to admire and appreciate.
Wow.
Yeah. There's so many good ones in here. I haven't seen this one in a while. Pillar of Truth is this church in Long Island that put this together. It's phenomenal. It's so good. It's like an hour. There's a life amount of content on here, but everything on here is amazing.
I have it up right now. Thank you, David. I mean, I just want to get this out before I forget, but because I feel like you exposing this and me even questioning it, let alone, I mean, you can't deny that this is not like scriptural truth where you have to pray and seek the Holy Ghost. And I mean, this is physics.
Here's the thing.
Obvious stuff.
David and Kelly, really quick. So I talked to Kelly before he came on the show, and I kind of gave him, kind of how you were going to present this to him a little bit from watching a lot of what you have put out there. And Kelly very quickly, and I quoted you on several things with Kelly, and Kelly very, very quickly asked me why. And
yeah, but I've thought about that since we talked.
I know we've touched on that, but I think that is the so what.
Yeah.
Of this
deceit. Deceit is its own reason.
And forgive me, but I would like to bring it back to that before we close the conversation. I would like to bring it back to the so what as into the why. Why the deception?
Why is if you can convince somebody that they're spinning out of control, lost in space, and insignificant, you can convince them that a boogeyman is flying through the air, and if they don't put a toxic piece of paper over their face or stick some poison into their body, that they're going to die, right?
Yeah,
my God, I took a test that went to a random number generator, and it says I've got this thing that makes me sick, and even though I feel terrific, I'm going to kill Granny if I go near her. That's because you're spinning out of control. You're lost in space. Let me tell you something. All the dots on that map, on the Flat Earth Friend Finder, none of them believe that nonsense. None of them, right?
No. From day one, most of my close friends like Kelly, we knew.
Kelly, without saying too many things, so we're on YouTube. But you know how they say, most of the world got 2 or 3 of these already in the arm. Okay. Yeah, well, there's 7.8 billion people, right? If the V companies can manufacture 25 every second without stopping for any holidays or anything, or work 24 hours a day, it would take 10 years.
They're lying. I know.
It would take 10 years to make one for every person on Earth. Okay.
I think Alex Jones brought that up once. Yeah. I mean, he probably shut up very quickly, or else he's going to get that call that you talked about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go to fakemaskusa.com. My
dude,
we literally.
Listen. I've cocked. I have never worn a mask other than to go to Mexico to get on an airplane. But I put it on to get on the airplane. I sit down and I eat sunflower seeds the whole way, one at a time, and they don't say anything.
Slowly, and they don't say anything.
They don't say anything. So, but I'm with you. Fake mask worldwide.
We literally have like 17 of them.
The triple incognito. The triple incognito.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. just because when I go somewhere, they tell you to put it on. And evils are sufferable, as the founding fathers said.
I take it a little farther. I will not go any place that they tell me to put it on. But
you just did, though, on the plane.
No. I like if I go to a restaurant and they can be a hard time, I'll just leave. I'll go to another restaurant. I have no choice. If I want to go to Mexico. Listen. this is hard work, whether you know it or not. I occasionally need to get away once in a while, and I haven't gone away in 2 years. I put one on to get on the plane, and a lot of people say that you cocked, and they're right.
No. Evils are sufferable. I mean,
yes, thank you.
Thomas Jefferson said that. I mean, so wow, I'm thoroughly enlightened, and I truly thank you, because I am a truth seeker.
Kelly, you're the smartest person I've ever talked to that listened, and the things that you said make perfect sense. You didn't say, I believe you. You're like, if that's true, you're right. Okay. Yeah. And so I've given you the resource. Excuse me.
Thank you.
The resources, the app will take you a long way. And
yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Wow. I hope this video is watched. I can't stumble upon you, but I mean, I know you're popular. Matt said you had millions of followers, and I can see why now, David.
So, excuse me. Next time you go sumo wrestling, bring some spray paint or something and write Antarctica on the outside of the ring. All right,
or just get a dohyo and write it on yourself.
Hey, there's videos and photos out there of Kelly, having the whymorality.com on his back. I mean, Kelly has been a proponent for truth.
I put a fake tattoo on one of the world championships, whymorality.com, and I can't even remember. It was so long ago. But I've since then kind of become a hermit, and I just seek truth. And, you read the prophets and the Holy Scriptures, they didn't have a lot of followers either.
And you know what, that's Kelly, that's what I admire so much about you, is that you are one of the few people that is just truly as objective as possible. And Dave, for you, what you've done, the work you've done, and the sacrifice that you've put into the cause is amazing. And so both of you gentlemen, Jake and I, are just eternally grateful. You guys are fantastic. We support you to the end. And thank you both so much for what
I'm going to have to look into sumo wrestling, because I always thought it was just a bunch of fat guys out of shape that couldn't do anything else. Now you're swimming.
No, you've got to see that video. Kelly can do the full splits.
I know.
This man,
he's doing splits and swimming 30 miles or 20 miles.
And he can have all three of us stand on his back and jump up and down. It's like he'd be like, okay, that feels good.
It's like someone said, well, I can bench 400 pounds. And then the reply from Sumo is, yeah, but does it jump off the rack and attack you?
Kelly, I don't know, what circles you travel in, but if you know any other podcasts, Sumo podcasts, anybody, get me on there. Let me talk to them like I'm talking to you.
I will.
Because this is the most important thing that's going on in the world right now. People are like, what? Flat Earth? What difference does a shape make? Well, flat is not a shape. The Earth is level and horizontal, and essentially that means flat. But this is important because when you wake up to this, you wake up to the other things. If you can't fight these other things if you're lost in space.
Right. Yeah, truth yields to truth. It clings to truth. And what you're doing is a service to the world. God bless you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Dave, thank you so much.
I didn't think I'd convert this quickly, Matt.
That's what, Kelly, that's why I only had a short discussion with you, and I said, hey, talk to Dave.
Kelly, use the frequently asked, the question mark button is going to answer all your questions, and it's going to and it's also going to bring up new questions and answer them also. So take some time, go through those videos, just in your spare time, watch the videos, and then take a note. Like, you know what? That's something I can verify myself. They discovered Antarctica, and they said there's more resources there. Oh, nobody can go there. Look, we're going to go to the moon. Look over here. Don't look over there. We're going to the moon, right?
That's what they do for 100 years now.
And after like the fourth moon landing, the network got phone calls like, hey, we'd rather have I Love Lucy on. You've preempted it again. And so they're like, okay, we'll go to war now, and now we'll do the little boogeyman. Now we're back to war again. It's like, just ignore all of that shit. Find out where you are and become who you're supposed to be. Live your true life.
And I know the people in charge don't like people like you, but I've always thought, who's much, much bigger than you are? God.
That's right. God first.
He can protect you. It doesn't matter if 1,000 warriors are coming at you. And he does that. I believe that he's done that.
I used to laugh at that. Now I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I mean, he has all the power. With one snap of his finger, everyone could die. He just doesn't take away our agency. He lets lies be believed when you don't seek him, but it's very apparent that you've sought him in this, and God bless you for it, because I believe it.
Jake or Matthew, give Kelly my email so he can reach out to me anytime he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, David.
Absolutely, yeah. And
So,
you know what? He's got the U.S. Sumo National Championships coming up on in the April 23rd or 22nd.
Yeah,
23rd.
April 23rd is the tournament. 22 is training.
Yeah, in Salt Lake City, and so Dave, if you're available and you connect with Kelly would probably give you a shout out there.
Dave, yeah, I gotta say this. I was talking. This was in Phoenix to a friend. I just won't mention his name, but we were talking. It was a great discussion. It was about truth, and then he brought up flat Earth,
and you laughed at him.
I drove away with my wife, and I said, "Man, I can't tell you how disappointed I am." And now I'm disappointed in myself.
No, don't
Kelly,
don't be, because there's a lot of false information about flat Earth out there.
Right. Are you connected with that guy still? No, it's all right. I'm keep stepping on you. Are you still connected with that guy?
Oh yeah.
Why don't you call him up and say, "Hey, I see what you're talking about. I'm looking."
I will. I mean, I put this on Facebook. For all I know, he's watching it right now. But I will connect with him, and I'll say, it just shows me that people need to be ready to receive it. And a platform like this, what you've demonstrated, it's just undeniable. Like I say, it's not even something you have to pray about, because it's just physics. It's just math.
Yeah, we have engineers, pilots. That's what I wanted to show you. On the app, if you hit the web button and go to featured video, full-length videos, there's a playlist of full-length videos. Like, instead of watching Netflix, watch one of those videos. And the top one right now is a bunch of whistleblowers, military whistleblowers, talking about how their weapon systems, like the railgun, shoots 100 miles. 100 miles. They can see targets 100 miles away. There should be a mile of curvature. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
8 per mile.
Wow. Just crazy. That one comment.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then the next one is there's just well-produced, entertaining. Literally sit down, grab a snack and drink whatever you got and watch these videos. They're better than anything that you can find on television. And guess what? When I come across one of those videos playing, like Bob Globusters has a Globusters 24/7 stream, which is basically just clips after clip after clip after video. And whenever that comes on, I get stuck. It's like you turn it on, it's like you can't turn it off.
Yeah. Well, everyone sits everywhere they go, doctor's office, airport, and they look at their cell phone. I now have a reason to stare at my cell phone during those times.
My friend who's a fireman today, he flat earther, he in the firehouse, he on the big screen TV, he turned it on to Globusters 24/7 and hid the remote.
Good idea.
Hey, you talk about Austin Whitsett, Globusters Austin. Kelly, there's this young man who is an ex-military member who has been traveling around the United States against all odds and going into the deepest places where he's just getting torn up and talking about flat Earth, because it is as important as the gospel truth.
Well, it's hiding the creation.
Right.
You hide the creation, you hide the creator.
Well said. Right.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
We don't see the creator, we see the creation, which is proof of the creator.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they're telling you it's a
lie. Maybe God's a lie too. Maybe the Bible's a lie.
Right.
Yes.
It's unbelievable how clear it is once you see it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, exactly. And then as you go down this path where you wake up and you break the spell that you've been put under, you see it happen again and again, and you know what's coming from. You feel it, you sense it, you see it around you, and you hurt for the people around you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want
Yeah,
them to wake
but
up
I mean,
so badly because that's really what's happening.
Yeah.
Is they steal the minds and they steal the power of the people, of the creative power. And creative, I'm not talking about putting your creativity on a painting or into a song or into poetry. I'm talking about putting your creativity into creation. Whereas in every single person born around you is a part of the creator of the universe and worlds beyond what we can even fathom.
Yeah.
And you're a part of that, and I'm a part of that, and Dave is a part of that, and Jake is a part of that, and every person listening to us tonight is a part of that. And what we believe, what we feel, and what we see makes up the reality. Reality is objective. There is an objective truth, but that objective truth is made up by the subjectivity of every person ever born throughout time. And you have your ability to look towards the objective truth that is the best for mankind, that is the best for human beings born, living, and dying. And I don't know why. So like I said, and I always like to end our podcasts with a so what. So and what I mean by that is a so what. So we've got this incredible information. We've got these wonderful ideas. We have this illumination into our spirits and into our souls that is life-changing. So what do we do with it? So what do we do with it? And what we do with it is that we hold on to it. We think about it. We listen to it, and then we start to pull ourselves away from the false matrix reality that we were born into and we were conditioned into. And that's what needs to happen. We need to stop listening to, and we don't even know. One of the things, the one thing that I heard Donald Trump say that I thought was true, the one thing he was asked, who, if it's not you, Mr. Trump, who's controlling everything? And he said, people you've never heard of. And that one thing he said was true. We don't know. We don't know because why would they show us? Why would they tell us? Everybody that we think, the cult of personality is a lie. You can't look at a person and say, well, we just get this person out of the way and then we can change and fix things. That's not true. That's not true. It's 100% inverted from what we think. The fact that we are paying attention to that person is the lie. The fact that we were caught in a world where we give our energy and our focus to a false reality is the lie. And the more that we break ourselves away from it, the more that the real world becomes apparent. It's like being on the grid and then becoming off the grid, where all of a sudden your survival is no longer entangled with the sociopath's agenda. And then all of a sudden you don't have to pretend and believe that you're a part of that, or that you can even tolerate a little bit of it. You should tolerate 0% of it. And we should all tolerate 0% of it.
I had some, I just wanted to say two quick things because I know we're going to be wrapping.
We're running along. We're running along, but this has been a fantastic conversation.
Thank you so much, David. Number one.
But thank you, David.
I just wanted to say, I had a friend call me last week and said that he just finished his 75th trip around the sun. And it just made me, I never told him how I felt about the earth, the realm, and everything. And I just snapped, and I had to be honest with him because it made me realize he might not be here another year from now. And I always wonder, how will it affect him when he passes on if he doesn't even know where he is, if he's lost? You don't really know. The other thing I want to point out real quick.
Let me just say, look, maybe if you don't figure it out, you have to do it again. And maybe
the
elite hide it from us because they want us to come back again to be a slave.
And maybe
soul trap.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's why they inoculate us too, because that takes us one step away from the
You see what you say here. God bless Mr. Fauci. God bless. All
right, we're going to cut that part out, right? We're going to cut that part out. Yeah, exactly.
The other point, I had one more thing to say, was that about science, Kelly, is that what you're going to find out by going through all the videos on that app and learning more about this, you're going to find that this is the scientific option, and everything else we knew our whole lives was the unscientific gobbledygook nonsense, utter insanity.
Artificial science, yes.
And the other thing you're going
Fake
to find on the app, if you click where to go? If you click it's gone.
Josh, okay.
What happened? That's interesting. Well, I was going to do a shameless plug. If you click the shopping cart, you can find this T-shirt and scream Flat Earth at everybody.
Yeah, Flat Earther. You're wearing.
Yeah, support Dave. Support Dave. Dave does a ton of work. Dave had a successful business, and he left his business to support this cause. And he goes on podcast after podcast and supports those podcasts. And he is absolutely worthy of your support. So spread Dave, Flat Earth Podcast, and Flat Earth Dave to your friends, and support the work that he does, because it's fantastic.
Yeah, this is a very good-looking app you have.
Yeah, these are Flat Earth supported businesses, all sorts of stuff. But the first one, you got my T-shirt shop right there, and only get it if you like it. Like, I used to wear very subtle ones. Now this is as subtle as I am. This is it. When I go out in public, this is as subtle as I can.
That's as subtle as you get.
That's about it. That's it right now.
Yeah, man. And it's just, wow. This truth is a little bit deeper
and today's, this is going to change tomorrow morning, but today's video right here, this guy, a Polish astronaut was asked, is the Earth flat? And he said, he wasn't expecting that question. And yes, it's flat.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't hear that on the mainstream news.
Yeah. They'll never put that on.
No.
The more you believe in a lie, the more you'll believe in more lies.
Yeah. So all I ask people to do is spread the word. Go out there. Spread it any way you can. And there's so many people out there supporting me by sharing the app. Like the people that are doing activism, when they have somebody interest, they give them one of my cards. By the way, on flatearthdave.com, I just added a link where you can download the artwork from cards, and places like vistaprint.com. You can get a whole box of cards for like $12 or something. I got cards, and they're the downloadable art is on flatearthdave.com. Just scroll down a little bit, you can't miss it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for your time, David. Appreciate it. Sorry about the technical issues.
No worries, Kelly. Great meeting you, and now I'm fascinated.
Great meeting you.
Yeah, sumo wrestling is you need to stay in the known lands and not go to the outer lands.
Don't go past Antarctica.
That's where the aliens live. Yeah,
exactly. That's where the Nazi penguins kill you.
The extraterrestrials.
Dave, thank you so much.
Extraterrestrials live.
Right.
And Dave Weiss, thank you sincerely. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking your time to come on and talk with us. You did a fantastic job. Flat Earth Clock app, and we will support you until the end, my friend.
Thank you.
It's fantastic to meet you.
Thanks,
I'd love
guys.
To connect with you again, my friend.
Anytime.
Thank you,
all right, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, man.
Have a wonderful
Thanks,
night.
guys.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
thank you, Kelly. Kelly Gneiting, Guinness Book of World Records holder Kelly Gneiting, 5-time U.S. Sumo
Heaviest person to complete a marathon.
Heaviest person to complete a marathon, 3 of them. 3 marathons at over 400 pounds. Kelly is an absolute American hero and a gem, and newly interested, seeking truther. Kelly has been a truther since the day I've met him. And he just got a bunch of fantastic information from Dave Weiss
tonight, right?
And I know Kelly, and I know Kelly well, and he's going to process that. And if Kelly comes back to me in a few months and he says that he believes in the heliocentric model,
he won't.
I'm gonna be shocked.
This is going to be years. I'm going to look back. We're going to talk in 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that night really changed me.
I can't disagree with that. And what's going to happen is you might start beating yourself up. Like, how did I ever fall for this nonsense? Because once you see it, it's like, how did they ever fall for it? The brainwashing, the job that they did on us as children, and all through our adult lives with all of the programming, the global news, the spinning globes on every movie. Globes are everywhere, and it's literally They're casting spells on us. And so don't beat
Yes,
yourself
yes,
up.
they
It
are.
happened to all of
Yes.
us, but
Yes.
you now see it.
Yes.
This is
Yes, I do.
there's
I
no
do.
going back into the matrix
There's
once
no
you're
going
out.
back.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yes. Casting
All right.
spells on us. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm jumping.
Absolutely.
I'll see you
Mic
guys.
drop.
Thanks.
Talk to you
Later,
guys
Dave.
later.
Love you, brother. You
Bye-bye.
keep fighting the good fight, my man.
Thanks. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.